gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass.
When I was 14 in 2006, my time was spent watching video reviews online, and one of my favorites was The Angry Video Game Nerd.
Try to help me now, man?
A web series of a grown man who gets mad at terrible video games that were made about 20 years before then. Like, yeah, that's gonna show those game developers.
I want to nail Roger Rabbit to the fucking cross.
AVGN and Screw Attack in general was one of the major factors that made me want to do videos when I was a little pizza.
Pizza shit.
Turns out the nerd himself, James Rolfocopter, and his writing partner Kevin Finn had more ambition to both this character and filmmaking.
This is the script to the Angry Video Game Nerd movie.
Nearly a decade in development and over $300,000 in fan donations, the Angry Video Game Nerd movie was porn. Allow me to explain the film's backstory. 1982, a video game company, Atari, rushed a terrible video game based on E.T. People despised and returned it. Atari dumped the games in a landfill, went bankrupt, and this film is the nerd's quest to find the landfill and review E.T.
You should review E.T.
No.
Should you review E.T.? I think you should review E.T.
Yeah, come on, nerd. Review E.T. for all the fans.
I know a lot of my viewers don't play video games, but this E.T. landfill thing really happened. It's not a fake-ass story like Tupac's death or anything like that. There's a documentary on this subject.
You really believe they buried 2 million cartridges in the fucking desert?
Oh, and this nerd film couldn't get the legal rights to use the name E.T., so they spelled it E.T. and gave E.T. a mustache. It adds to the cheesiness.
It's putrid, it's despicable, as it intentionally tries to be.
If you never watched the web series or don't appreciate So Bad It's Funny monster movies, it's not for you.
Ass! Fuck!
There's a lot of inside jokes, no spoilers, but there was a scene where someone was about to die, and I was thinking, are they gonna reference that scene? And yes, they did, they freaking did. But one of the best moments was when these military guys discovered and enjoyed the nerd's reviews, then decided to look up one of his friends/imitators videos.
That's the feeling that you get after playing this game. This is super rad video game, dude.
Not so much. He sucks.
That's kinda dissing the fans. I make videos inspired by the nerd, too. The highlight of this film were the practical effects. It's so satisfying and hilarious to see physical objects being smashed, but the green screen and backdrops just look too computerized, I guess. I don't know, it just doesn't mesh well.
Well, there's been some budget cuts.
I'd love to get the DVD just for the behind-the-scenes features. As of now, the film by itself is only available to buy on Vimeo, while iTunes offers the soundtrack. It's a nice mix of both 8-bit and orchestral themes. Of course, I bought it. I spent money on music. That tells you something. I thought it was a good movie, much better than those Nostalgia Critic anniversary videos, but honestly, very flawed. Not so much budget issues, just pacing itself. It really dragged, especially in the middle with over-explaining E.T.'s creation in tinfoil or something. There's a lot of weird alterations. They established the nerd being internet famous, yet he works in a video game store within the movie. His two recurring friends from the web series appear for 3 seconds. It would have made more sense for one of them being his partner tagging along, but instead you get these two who I actually grew to like, even if they're underdeveloped. But the military guys hunting them down were a great over-the-top addition.
Get me the fuck out of here!
Also, Nerd didn't take a shit in this movie. Yeah, I guess you gotta take points off for him not taking a shit on stuff. It's just not the nerd unless he takes a dump.
Bombs away.
A common complaint I hear was it seemed like James was stroking his ego with how he's worshipped in this film. It's clearly an exaggeration, come on. But you know what's sad about his fame is currently on IMDb, James doesn't even have top billing in his own film. He's at 6th place from the top. When James first announced the movie, he compared it to Wayne's World, a film about a made-up low-budget TV show and the drama during production.
Did you ever find Bugs Bunny attractive?
The Angry Video Game Nerd movie was nothing like that. It's the nerd being the nerd instead of the life of James outside his character, who I find more fascinating. You see, James's main goal in life was to make horror movies, but these reviews became both his living and claim to fame.
Cow a fucking piece of dog shit.
That's his job. He's got a family to support. The nerd doesn't have as much time as he used to for pursuing much else.
The Rob the Robot video, now that one took 122.5 hours.
It's gotten me thinking, what if I'm stuck making cartoon reviews and top 10s instead of actually making cartoons? Why don't I just give up on my ambitions and become a Let's Player? This is James slowly breaking out of that. Regardless of what you thought of the film, you have to admire the nerd's dedication.
Nerds before birds. That's the way.
So whatever theatrical project he has planned next or video review, I can't wait to see.
But this is not a major Hollywood studio multi-million-dollar production. This is just 3 normal guys who were friends in high school who had a dream and said, hey, let's make a movie. And all these years later, here we are. So let's watch this thing.
They will say you're just a fool. Just never quit and don't forget the golden rule. Nerds! People nerds!
Only from Atari. Made especially for systems from Atari. The video game that lets you help E.T. get home. Just in time for Christmas. Happy holidays.